Yo, yo, yo. Ahmed on side back with another live stream, not for a game though. We're going to do the weekend preview. Going to look at some games that are coming up. Of course, this weekend we have Sunners, could possibly be deciders in the Premier League title race this season. So, uh, before we get to that, though, like, share, 50 subscribers. That's what we're trying to do, and build out this channel and maybe produce some more content that's not just live streams, some more um, sports content and other related stuff. So, back here with me once again, my infrequent co host, certain Man United fan.
Yes, sir.
Introduce yourself
United,
as you please.
United. Yeah, it's
Don't
amazing.
get too hyped up,
Glad to
man.
be
Don't get
back.
too hyped up. Y'all
We're
won a couple
back.
games. Y'all
We're
won a couple
back.
games.
3 to be exact. What was your
Don't be
last 3?
rants.
Go
Don't be
ahead, run
rants.
it up. Run it up. What was
Talk,
your last
no,
3?
talk to me about the last 24.
Huh?
Let's match up the last 24, not just the last three,
All
or
right,
the
so
last
last
two.
3.
Honestly, I think we won. Who we played? Y'all. We played
That's what I
City.
meant.
No. We played y'all. We played who we play? I don't even remember, man. Whatever. Anyway, so before we get into the weekend preview, let's talk about these World Cup games, though.
Yeah.
What did you think? Did you watch the Chelsea Arsenal second
Yeah, I thought
leg
it
of
was
the Carabao Cup
yet
yesterday?
yet another stinky Arteta special. But it gets the job done. I mean, I think that's a good way to go about certain trophies. I think that's a good strategy for like tournament football. Um, he got the job done. I mean, Chelsea didn't have anything of value, anything of note that they did during the game. They puffed and they puffed, couldn't really break y'all down. And at the end, it was just an easy dub for Arsenal. The worst part about it was just Havertz getting that goal at the end just to rub it in a little bit, which is
Where's for who? Where's for
fair
Chelsea
enough
fan?
for Chelsea. Yeah, for Chelsea. Just imagine. I know they hate Havertz. You know what I mean? For some reason,
I wonder
but
why. I mean, he scored the winning goal in the Champions League for them, so
right, I think it's just because
I
he
mean, you
cost
don't
so
have to
much
love
money.
him, but
Right,
why the animosity, right?
I get it.
Saying all that, or every fan base has their irrational hatred of like former players. So
Honestly,
you know,
even Arsenal fans have it a little bit. Something when Havertz
oh
is
yeah, for
playing
sure.
regularly, yeah, you'll see it come out. Everybody hates Havertz. I remember after that United FA Cup game, boy, the hatred was deep.
It's because of the
'Cause
Chelsea connection.
yeah, that's
The
true. Yeah,
Chelsea
that too.
Association is kind of what does it.
Yeah,
It happens with Chelsea players that come in and don't perform to like an above average standard.
right, right.
Um,
Which is almost all of them.
which is almost all of them. Which is what kind of pisses Arsenal fans off. Is why are we getting these players from Chelsea knowing that they have financial issues and they're trying to get players off of their books? Why are we giving them an out when they keep making these bad financial decisions and we don't really see the upside of these players? We
Yeah,
get them worse than they were at Chelsea for the most
because
part, right?
why would Chelsea help you guys out? Of course, they're not gonna sell y'all a player they think is super good. they they gonna tell you what they think is not good enough. You know what I mean?
You would think teams that are in sort of a bad situation would do that just to balance their books. They spent way too much money on a transfer, so now because they're not winning, they're not getting as much revenue. They need to get somebody off of their books. So you think like, okay, maybe there's a deal to be had where this player could be good, and Chelsea just have to sell them, right?
I
They don't
think
have a choice. So
I don't think Chelsea
it's
are a
an
club
easy
where
come up,
they
but
would
that's
have.
not necessarily the case.
Yeah, I don't think they're a club where they would have a situation where they would have to sell um, a player that they value. You know what I mean? Because they like Medwake was one that they bought for cheap. They sold for high. That was just kind of a pure flip. Havertz, I think if he was good enough, I think they would have much preferred to just extend the contract because he's pretty much off the books at that point. You know what I mean? If they felt he was good enough, they probably but I think there could be instances where they might not want to stay. I think that's what you have to look at. If they're like, I don't really want to
That too,
re-sign, or
right?
or they feel like they want to move on. But
Right.
that feels like the players they've been kind of getting over on y'all as far as players go. I've never
They have.
seen a Chelsea to Arsenal transfer be like,
I
oh,
could
that's a
list them all
goodbye.
right now. I could list them from way back. I mean, if you could say, you could even say like William Gallas, if you remember
Oh
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
I remember.
he kind of
I
jumped
thought
around like
he was
London teams. He
okay.
was like all over the place.
Right.
But no, but I mean, like even Arsenal made this guy captain for a
Yeah,
little
which
bit,
is crazy.
which is
I remember.
crazy. 'Cause William Gallas was to me, I hated that guy. Like I
Yeah,
was like, dude, why? Um, but
Luis.
like, yeah, David
Louis, yeah,
Luiz, he wasn't terrible. We got some good value out of David Luiz.
yeah.
Um,
I think you just got him at
Czech,
on the way
he,
down.
yeah, Czech
Be a good
clear decline
check.
after his.
Yeah, yeah.
He had a good season with us, and then it was decline after that, like really
Right,
bad.
right.
And then it just sort of started getting worse. It was players like Willian coming in, awful. Uh, who else do we have? Sterling was probably the worst.
Oh, I
You know what I mean?
forgot about
It was
Sterling.
like
At least that was a
Sterling
loan.
was
So
bad because
that's not too bad. It was a
no,
chance.
well, I mean, we paid I think half of his wages. Like
Oh, so
there
you
was
didn't even pay the
no
full.
fee, there was nothing. It was just
Yeah,
half his wages.
yeah,
But still, to me, that was way too much,
yeah.
considering like what he
It's
brought because he did
right,
nothing. This
right.
guy did nothing the entire time he was there.
And we knew that before the transfer. Like he's not really gonna be. He's just a body, really, just to fill in and care about cup games,
Right,
maybe.
right, yeah, just a body. And I was like, we could have just had Waneri or somebody. Granted, they were like
Right.
16 at the time, right?
Yeah, yeah. Right. You could have gave him some minutes. So yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But
Some development.
rather an academy kid
Mhm.
than Sterling, who offered absolutely nothing, and he was more so a liability. He kind of was a negative on the pitch. Even be fine if it was just like, all right, we'll just maintain a standard, and okay, you're not going to get anything above like, but it
Right.
was below that. You know, he was a
Sure.
liability. But so yeah, the Chelsea Arsenal Carabao Cup final. For me, I thought it was pretty well managed by Arteta. Uh,
Yeah.
Came in assuming that Chelsea were going to actually try to score a goal, which is what you would expect given that they're a goal down.
Mhm.
But for some reason, the Chelsea manager thought it was a better idea to like play like you know what I'm saying, like a
Back
defensive
three.
lineup,
Yeah, he played a back three
back three,
or back five.
back five. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if you add like Kukuri, I think the idea to when I looked at it, I was like, okay, maybe he's trying to get these wingbacks to push up, right? And he's got Delap and João Pedro up front as a two. So I thought they were going to place more centrally up front, but then you had Delap like drifting out to the wing. Like you had Delap playing winger. Like what?
Yeah, I think
That
when
could cook.
in the back three setups or the back five, you'll see that a lot with the striker. They'll kind of go into the channels because there's space there because there's no wingers really. So it's like it's a way to just kind of relieve pressure, get it out of there. But Delap's not. I don't think he's a good enough striker for that, anyways. And then
No, it didn't make sense. It made more sense if
yeah,
João Pedro was the one that was drifting. It makes
right,
more sense that
right,
if Delap were to be more central because he's
right,
kind of a hold up, bigger type
right,
player. He's not necessarily a speedster, whereas João
right,
Pedro is like more technical and he's quicker. But that's not what they
right.
did. They had
Yeah, I guess they were just trying to tire you out, maybe go for it at the end with the bring on the subs and then kinda go for it more, and which they kinda did. They did start to go for it, like, 60th, 70th minute. They just I think they might have needed more time. It looked like they could have been dangerous, but, yeah, you guys look comfortable throughout the whole it's like they were kinda
right.
getting a little bit of joy, but they just couldn't do anything with it. They didn't have that quality to go along with it.
They
So,
didn't
but
have too
yeah.
many opportunities.
Yeah, yeah, no clear cut
I
ones.
think it was like for Arsenal, it was like, yeah, let's just conserve our energy here
Yeah.
and just win this match.
Yeah,
And they
easy.
really did not threaten us. So it was like, yo,
Right,
let's not do too much in this. You know what I
right,
mean? Let's
right.
just hurry up and get these guys out the way so we can focus on the league
Mhm.
and Champions League, which I don't even know when that's going to start.
Yeah.
But yeah, it ends 4-2 on aggregate, easy win. So that's that side of the Carabao Cup semifinals. Now, the game actually playing out right now as we speak. Manchester City against Newcastle United, who are the champions from last year in the Carabao Cup,
Oh yeah, that's right.
defending Carabao Cup winners. They came into the game 2-0, right?
Hmm.
And within the first half, it was already
It's out of
3
sight.
0. It was
Yeah.
already 5 goals on aggregate for Man City. It was pretty much done. Everybody kind of, I looked at the game and I was like, should I even try to stream this? Is this
Right,
even
right,
worth
right,
it? Right?
right,
Is
right.
is there going to be actual like drama? And I
Yeah.
decided against it because I was looking at Newcastle's form, how they've
Hmm.
been playing just overall this season.
All
I'm like, there's
season.
no way they're going to come in and actually threaten City or make it even, a dramatic
Right,
spectacle, even if they were still to lose. They in this game. That's
yeah,
exactly how it played out.
right.
Um,
Yeah,
so it looks like
Newcastle
City are going straight to the final.
are in a tough position this season. Yeah, City. I mean, or Newcastle. Yeah, completely out of everything really this season. I think they're just kind of fighting for survival, at least trying to finish as high as they can. I don't see them winning anything. I don't see them even threatening for top four really. They might end up in and around it. Maybe end up in the or the Conference League, but I think they've had a terrible season, and I think they're probably looking at whether they should keep Eddie Howe or they should go ahead and start looking for a new manager. I think it's probably getting to that point.
Yeah, and for honestly, I can't really fault Eddie Howe because I've seen him, you know, get a lot out of some of these players, right?
100%.
But they haven't really done too much in developing their squad, and now they're starting to lose because they probably see like there's not a lot of there's not any any interest in like moving forward and winning and
Right.
getting
Right.
competing for trophies.
Right.
There's ambition is what I'm trying to say. So the decision's kind of simple for a lot of these guys who have some good value. They can go to teams where they are competing. There are opportunities for them to play in bigger competitions. So we've
Right.
already seen Isak push for a move, even when it wasn't advantageous for Newcastle,
Hmm.
and now you see them start to players are kind of turning their head, now that they're like falling
Right.
down the table and getting knocked out of competitions.
Right. Yeah, I think the whole cycle's kind of run its course. It's kind of got to that stage where he's kind of all out of motivation, and now it's kind of either rebuild the team or change the way they play. And it doesn't look like Eddie Howe has any interest in changing their philosophy or how they're playing. So it's kind of just like one of those decisions they got to make. But going forward, how do you feel about City versus Arsenal in the final?
In the Carabao Cup, okay.
Yeah, do you think I think it's a big sort of like a litmus test for the league. I think it can have implications going either way. I think, Arsenal could beat City and they would go into the rest of the season confident, like, okay, we're better than them. We can beat them this season. Or it could maybe vice versa. If City wins, maybe it's like a fear kind of starts to seep in, like, oh, maybe they still have it. Maybe they're still better than us. Maybe when we go to see them in the Etihad, that could be a problem for us. So we gotta it heaps on some pressure. I think it's a pretty big
Yeah.
final considering who
No,
the
it is
teams.
for sure. I mean, we have a pretty good record when we get to Wembley, right? Um, for Arsenal, it's definitely that milestone to getting, to winning like other competitions and maybe like just the future health of the team to stay competitive for like years to come, right? I think it is pivotal in that sense, right? Um, I think that if we were to win the Carabao Cup, it's another competition out of the way so we can focus on the Prem, which is the primary competition, and then the Champions League, right? Whenever you have a lingering match that you still have to play in a competition, I think it does a lot to how you plan, what players, you think you're going to be able to give minutes to if they're being overplayed and whatnot.
Right,
Do
right.
you this player because they need to stay fresh for the Prem. So right now we're at the top of the Prem. We're in the final of the Carabao Cup. We're at the top of the Champions League, right? To kind of get the Carabao Cup out of the way means that we can focus on these other two competitions, right? If we win it, I think we're going to have a really good run going into the Prem. If we
I
lose
agree.
it, I don't think it's the end of the world, but I think it does strike a blow at our like psyche, at our confidence in going forward and winning some of these other competitions. But it's not the end of the world either, right?
Yeah. Right.
Um, for Man City, I'm thinking the calculation Pep is making is I'm getting close to kind of being out of the Prem. I want to win a trophy, right? People are talking about he's not going to be here next season, right? He wants to win a trophy, and this is his opportunity, his best opportunity to win a trophy in
Um,
the Carabao Cup.
I don't. I think his
It's
calculations are probably
easier.
more the prem still. I think he's looking at like a psychological boost for his players. Probably he's looking test y'all psychologically. I think because you guys aren't really you. I don't think this team has been to a final, right? Like this iteration of the team. I think Arteta has with the last iteration,
Yeah,
but
I
this
think
actual
most of the
built team
players in
hasn't
this
been to a
team have
final,
not. You know, the only players that
and
have
they've
been to the FA Cup final that was like 6 years
right,
ago were like
right,
Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli. Um, I think that might be it because Saliba and
right.
Gabriel, or maybe Gabriel was in it. I think Gabriel was in it
So
because Gabriel
I
was
think
there before Saliba. So yeah, it was. Yeah, there's like maybe 4 or 5 players. Ben White, like 4 or 5 players that were in that team. The rest, half of the team have not been. Yeah,
yeah. So I think it's just like all right, we can see what Arsenal are made of. Like see what these if these players have that mental toughness that they've kind of lacked the last few years. So I think this is a good temperature check. I think for Pep, if
right.
I'm Pep, I'm looking at it like let's try to go beat them and let's try to gain a
Mhm.
psychological edge because it's only 6 points. I think if it's only 6 points, knowing Pep, he of course he's going to be like we're still in this. Six
Right.
points. I mean he's come back from 8. I don't. The last time he came back on you guys was 8 with like what is it, like March or February or something.
Yeah. Mhm.
So he's done it before. He's probably gonna be looking at it like, if we get a win here, we can get a little bit of a psychological edge, and then they might
Right.
crumble later on in the race. So that's
Right.
why I
But I
think
mean, you got to
that
keep in mind this isn't the same city. Like that city
it's not,
that
but it's the same
came
Pep.
back. It's yeah, yeah. And he came.
And I don't think you guys are strong enough to be like, you know what I mean? To like you guys are a good team, but not like an unbeatable team, if that makes sense. You know,
Right.
I don't look at you like I looked at the City back in the day or like the Liverpool. I think you guys are probably a notch below that. And
Hmm.
so they don't have to be perfect. They just have to be slightly better than you guys. And if you guys drop points here and there, they
Right.
could easily capitalize. So
Well, they have some really difficult fixtures, which is what we're going to talk about.
yeah, yeah, very true.
Um,
Very true.
Whereas, we don't want to. I try to avoid even looking at the Arsenal schedule too far ahead of time. I'm just interested in what the next match is going to be. You know what
Right,
I
right.
mean? The most that I'm going to look forward is, let's say we're inside of a game, we're winning, it looks like it's done. Then
Mhm.
I'm going to be like, all right, let me go ahead and look and see who else we're playing, right? Um,
I think
so
who you
go
guys
ahead.
have next? You guys have Wolves next?
Sunderland at home, I think.
Oh, okay. Sunderland at home.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, Sunderland at home. Um, so so yeah. So to wrap up the Carabao Cup, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think the
Yeah.
game is being
Interesting.
played at the early part of March. Um, yeah, I think it's going to be good, man. I mean, we're going to stream that one for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Should be a good game too. City
Yeah,
Arsenal final. Should be interesting.
yeah. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing City multiple times this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, I mean,
Many times.
yeah.
That's what sucks about
We
these
know for
about
sure you
teams that
gotta
are
go
like
to the
going head to
Etihad.
head. It's like you got to
Right,
play these guys over and over during the season.
right. And
You know.
every game that y'all play against each other is an important game. Every single
Hmm.
one. for
Yeah, it's crazy. It's nerve
every
wracking.
part of the season. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's the Carabao Cup. Now let's look at the upcoming fixtures. So what I'll do is I'm trying to get more technical with it. So I'm gonna start sharing
Need an IT guy.
sharing
Oh, okay.
screens and
There we
whatnot,
go.
right? Right. So all right. Usually I can show our video somewhere down here, but I guess not this time. Um, so this is the Prem schedule for the weekend. First up, though,
Yep.
Man
Yeah,
United
boy.
Hotspur. So what are we thinking about that one?
Ooh, this one's hard to gauge because I think we're better than them, and I think they have a lot of injury problems, and it's at home for us. However, I they have got the better of us. They've been able to leave with at least a draw in almost the last 5, 6 games. So it's like they've beat us a
Right.
few times, or we've got a draw. I think this is gonna be the first time we play against them in like a back four and like really go for it under this manager, under Carrick, as opposed to Amarim, who was kind of a little more, sit back and let just take a couple opportunities to try and win it. So it'll be a different style, and we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't discount Spurs because I know that they do still have quality. Solanke is a player that always scores against United. Always, he's like Welbeck, where he always
Yeah.
comes up with a goal. So I wouldn't be surprised if he scores. But overall, I think we might just edge it. I think maybe like um, a 2-1, possibly a draw is what I'm seeing for this game. I think we'll edge it
Yeah.
just because we're at home, and there's a pretty good atmosphere at Old Trafford at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that 2-1 win for Man
Yeah,
United. You guys have been in very good form.
right.
Um, been really trash this entire season. Minus the second half of that Man City game. Um, so I see them maybe having a little bit of confidence off of a draw against Man City, but
Yeah,
for the most part, I think Man United are finding some form and figuring out how to play, and Carrick actually knowing what to do as a manager. So
right,
yeah, I think that all is going to work out for Man United. So a 2-1 is definitely what I see in the cards.
right, and yeah, I think they still have some defensive injuries, and I think our attack is better. I think our midfield
Right.
is even a little better, which is hard. Which is usually never the case against the Big Six teams, but for this game, I do think we might have the better midfield.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean your morale is definitely up too. Whereas their morale, I've been reading things about Romero
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much like
yeah. He called them
being
a
off. Like
disgrace.
he's trying to leave. Is that what he said? I didn't even
He
read that
said he,
part.
he said I tried to be there even though I was ill, but the fact that we only have 11 players available is a disgrace. Like this is disgraceful.
So
I guess
he's so
pointing
that's
the
he's
finger.
leveling criticism
Yeah,
on people upstairs,
right.
not necessarily the manager even.
Yeah, definitely on the board and the club.
Right. I've seen some Spurs content creators talk about a potential sale
Yeah, I've
like
heard
of
that.
the club.
Yeah, I've heard that recently. There's been definitely a lot of rumors. Like the reason they're sacking Levy and all this is they're trying to prepare for a sale. And I think it's
Right.
possible for sure. I mean, they've raised the value so much that they could easily walk away with a huge, you know what I mean, profitable jump from a sale right now. It's probably
I
as
think so
profitable
too.
as it's going to be right now.
Yeah, but the buyers, like, who are the buyers though? Because I haven't heard anything about an oil state trying to buy Tottenham
Right.
Hotspur. I've
Yeah.
heard of the guy said something about some DJ, right? Which is like, all right, man. Like, it's these you're gonna bring owners in that may have the initial money, or they've like got a consortium together to buy the team,
Yeah.
but that is not necessarily a sign that things are going to turn around, because you
Yeah.
might be in a
Definitely
situation like Chelsea
not.
where
Definitely
you're just buying and selling players and you're not necessarily focused on winning.
not. Right.
You're trying to maximize profits for whoever the new owners are, which is no
Right.
different than the current owners.
That's 100%
Unless
what I
the
see.
Qataris are coming in, then
The
I don't
reason I
think
doubt
it's better for-
like a oil consortium or like the Qataris or UAE or Saudi is just because if you're sports washing, I don't think you'd want to use a club like Spurs with has a bad reputation. You might
Yeah, right.
you
You might do the
might
opposite.
yeah, you might worsen your reputation in the
Right. You might draw more scrutiny to
right.
whatever crimes that you're committing. Crimes on the pitch are going to bring attention to the crimes that you're actually committing elsewhere.
So much easier to
The
hate
international
on
crimes.
Tottenham. But I could definitely see it like a private equity American consortium
Right.
coming in, seeing an opportunity here to make some money, maybe
That's a terrible deal because
concerts.
they're already
Yeah,
doing that. Like the
right.
current this the so the dude broke down the ownership of Tottenham Hotspur. He was saying that the what do you call it? That the current ownership is 70-30.
Mhm.
So 70% owned by what was his name, man? It's like some really generic American name. The current owner
Um,
of Tottenham Hotspur.
yeah, I don't remember his name. I know who you're talking about. I just don't remember his name either.
Yeah, but the consortium is called ENIC, right? Which is like
Yeah, you know.
English National Insurance Company, right?
Mm.
Um, and then 30% is Levy. So they're saying Levy might be getting bought out for his 30%.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so it's not like an over. It's not even like a full ownership deal.
Sort of like what United
So
did, where it's like 30% still, just
yeah,
yeah,
that
and he
that may
owns it.
be the model that they're going for. Let's bring in some private equity group to, I guess, get the valuation up so that there can be a bigger sale at some point.
Yeah,
They have the assets. I mean, I think Tottenham Hotspur are the most. They bring in the most revenue in the Prem,
yeah, they bring in a
or
lot,
no,
surprisingly.
or the most profit maybe. Based on like cost versus revenue,
I think it's a bit of both. I mean, yeah, well, I don't think they bring in like as much as like Liverpool or Arsenal, but I think they might
or even
be
Man United. I don't think, but I think
definitely
it's
not
the
Man United.
I think it's the ratio. I think the
Right,
ratio of like
possibly. Right,
money coming in to money going out.
right. But yeah, they're definitely high earners for sure. I think they are probably the most profitable
Yeah,
because they don't really spend as much as
right,
the bigger clubs.
right, exactly. So yeah. Anyway, so going off of that match, Man United, Tottenham Hotspur. Let's look at the next game, which is Arsenal hosting Sunderland at home.
Okay.
So this one, we played Sunderland away. Sunderland were a very difficult team to beat earlier in the season.
Right.
We played them at their ground, and they've kind of given bigger teams a hard time most of the season.
Right.
But in current form, they haven't been great. They've been
Yeah.
losing and drawing a good number of games, and they've started to like rack up injuries. I
Right.
think Granit Xhaka is out now for an
Oh yeah.
extended period, so he's not even going to be playing in this one.
Yeah. That's it for them then.
Um,
I don't think they can do anything without Granite
right.
Xhaka.
So I think we're coming in on a high.
Mhm.
After our wins in the Prem against Leeds, wiping them away pretty concisely, and then going into the Carabao Cup and beating Chelsea without really trying too hard.
Yeah.
Um, I think we're due another win here against Sunderland. I mean, I could see like a 2-0 or a 3-0. You can't really call it because the way that we beat Leeds was just so
Right.
aggressive. You could envision us beating Sunderland the way that they are now with, a big goal margin. So
Right.
I'll say 3-0. I'll say 3-0.
Yeah, I'd say probably 3-1, maybe 3-0. I could see them getting a goal, but I can't see them doing much more than that. I think it might be a little bit tougher than Leeds just because of the physicality they do have. But yeah, like you said, the
Yeah,
injuries. I don't think they fully recovered from AFCON either. I think they had a lot of players go, and then
right.
then the injuries added on to that. They haven't been able to recover any kind of confidence. And with Granit Xhaka gone, yeah, that's really kind of them done. So yeah, I see an easy Arsenal win. Um, and yeah, should be standard W for
Right.
Arsenal.
Right. So beyond that one's we don't need to linger on it too much. So Aston Villa go away to Bournemouth. How do we feel about that one? Because Aston
Mm,
Villa have been on a slump of late.
yes,
They
yes,
lost last week and they've been drawing games and injuries, and we've seen some outbursts coming from Unai Emery and some of the players.
right, right.
So, what do we think about that one?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I could see honestly, this is one of those games where I could see going either way, but for some reason, because Bournemouth are at home, um, and I know Bournemouth are a team that are gonna always be an attacking team. They're not gonna really sit back in any game. They're really gonna actually try to win the game no matter what. I could see I could see a draw or even a Bournemouth win here. So I'm looking at like a 3-2 or like a 2-2. But I think the most likely winner is probably going to be Bournemouth for me, just because of the
Yeah,
injuries, because of the dip in form for Villa. I think Bournemouth have been doing pretty well as of late. I know they've had that slump sort of in the middle of the season, but I think they're starting to recover a little bit of form. So I think, but I do think it'll be a good game. But I have a feeling Bournemouth might take this one.
yeah, I think you're right. I think it'll be a back and forth game because Aston Villa also like to attack, and they need a win,
Yeah,
and that's going to leave some space open for Bournemouth that play in that sort of attacking fashion. I think it'll probably end, like you said, like 3-2 or 2-2. Somebody will snatch it like close
yeah,
to the end,
exactly.
or it'll just be like a 2-2 stalemate. But I do expect goals in that one.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. So now let's move on to Burnley West Ham. West Ham pretty much in the relegation zone.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what do we think about? I think well, they're both, I believe, are in the relegation zone. Actually,
Yeah,
hold
this
on a
this is
second.
a
Let me
this is a
let me
this is a
look at the
relegation
table
classic
here.
right
This is
here.
a
This
relegation battle for real. So
big
let's look at the
hitter.
table. This might be actually an interesting match to watch. Burnley look like they're pretty much relegated. They're only at
You think
15.
so? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Damn,
they're
yeah,
yeah.
15 points. They would need to gain 11 points to get to fourth. So I don't see that happening.
I
But
mean, that
I
makes this an
think
even bigger game. This is a six-pointer for Burnley and for West Ham.
for
This is huge.
but I don't see Burnley digging themselves out of that hole. I don't see
Yeah,
that happening. But I
yeah,
do see West Ham possibly dragging down one of the other potential relegation, the ones that the teams outside of the relegation zone. So if
right,
West
right,
Ham can get a win here, that's going to put pressure on Nottingham Forest. That means Nottingham Forest is going to have to
mhm,
win a game, and
and
Leeds.
Leeds,
They're going
yeah,
to have to win. So if
right,
they don't win, then they got West Ham breathing down their neck. 3 points could get you dropped down into the relegation zone.
and West Ham have been in pretty good form of late. I mean, the 3-0 against Sunderland. Even that Chelsea game, they coulda easily won that game. I think they fell apart at the end, though. I think that might have just been some bad coaching to not maintain that, but they were up
Right.
2-0 against Chelsea, so,
Yeah.
they're showing some form. And Burnley, I mean, they've kinda just even though I think they do still they have a little something. Burnley is like a team that can beat anybody on their best days, but their best
Mhm.
days are just few and far between, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, but we'll see. But
Yeah.
I see West Ham probably winning
I see
this.
West Ham winning that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 or
So
3-1.
that'll make the league interesting if we have a little bit of a relegation fight at the bottom of the table. Moving on, Fulham host Everton. Let's look at the table again. This one's more of a mid table kind of battle,
Yeah, Fulham
not too
are shouldn't be
consequential.
yeah, I think
Fulham,
Fulham
Everton.
are 9th. Yep, 9th, 10th,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So
Same
Fulham
place.
here, if they win, either of these two teams, if they win, they can go above Sunderland,
Oh,
and
right, yeah.
above possibly above Brentford.
Mhm. Okay.
So that'll be a big game. There's a lot riding on that one as well.
Yeah, for positioning right here.
Right.
I think that, yeah, these are t 2 close teams for me. I think they have similar styles. They're good at
Yeah.
keeping games close. They you know what I mean? They're kind of solid defensively, and sort of a little lacking up front. So, to me, it's probably gonna be a boring game. I could see like a 1-1, 1-0
Yeah.
type of
One
outcome
nil
in that.
one. Right. They're
Yeah.
gonna play it careful.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Everton, Fulham. So after that, Wolverhampton Wanderers, and they host Chelsea at home. This one is going to be a consequential one. We know Wolves are pretty much relegated at this point, but one of the
Right.
worst teams in the league's history with
Right.
only 8 points.
8 points is crazy.
Okay. After
8 points.
25 games, they've only gained 8 points. So they are getting close to being mathematically out of the league, right?
Yeah, I think they probably
And
accepted it by now.
Chelsea
They're in that top
vying
4 battle.
for top four. There's a real top four battle going on.
Right.
Um, Chelsea have to win in order to overtake Man United, who I can envision, winning their match. But if there's, they got to keep pace. If Chelsea don't win and Man United do, I think they're just going to languish, in this part of the table
Right.
and
Fifth, sixth, right.
even possibly lose out on Europa League.
Right. Right. Possibly. Yeah, I think it depends, right? So with Chelsea, the quality is definitely there. Like I think a lot of their recent success has been more on the players than the manager, to be honest. Watching their games, they
Hmm.
haven't really been controlling games. They've just kind of been out pacing games in a sense. Like the tactics isn't really what's winning them the games; it's the players. Because, like we said, the West Ham being up 2-0, um, any other day, like any a better coach might have gotten, or even a better team than West Ham, say that might have been a definitely an easy loss for Chelsea. So,
Right.
um, but this game they're playing Wolves, so I can't see anything but a OW here. I
Yeah.
don't see them
Yeah. I see.
losing
I see.
or
Unless
winning.
unless Chelsea have a complete calamity
Right?
and
Yeah.
Wolves somehow score. I mean, again, it's Wolves playing at home, so
Right.
maybe
Right.
Wolves can get up. Maybe they're due a win against a giant because that does happen in the Prem. Uh,
Yeah.
so we'll
But
see. I mean, if Chelsea don't do it, it's a lot of pressure on Chelsea,
if
especially after
anything,
their
I
comeback.
think that Wolves will have so much respect for Chelsea. I could see more than a win, probably a draw. Like a draw, I think is the best they could hope for. If they,
Right.
play it stinky, kind of like how they played against Arsenal. They just kind of stink
Yeah.
the game up. Maybe try to get an opportunity at the end, but just be okay with a 0-0.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
I
that's
mean, I see it being either a 2-0 or 1-0 for Chelsea.
yeah, I agree. I agree. I think they just get it done.
Right. Moving on, Newcastle hosts Brentford. Now, this is an interesting one because
Yeah.
Newcastle really have had a season to forget about.
Ooh, they're
But
11th.
then Brentford, yeah, Newcastle are in 11th place, and Brentford are at 7th with 36
7th.
points.
Right.
A win could get them above Liverpool and pushing up for potentially playing in Europe, right? There's a
Yeah.
potential prize for them if they just like keep the
Right.
pace. So I expect Brentford to actually put pressure on these other teams that are in the sixth to fourth spot.
Yeah.
Um, so and I think this might be one of the upsets of the weekend. So
To be fair, I don't think it would be. I mean, based on Brentford's form this season, I don't think it would even be an upset. I think they're probably the favorites going in. Oh, actually, the only thing that
well,
would
it's
make it,
away at
it's
Newcastle,
away. Yeah, the fact that it's
right?
away. Um, but yeah. But Newcastle, I mean, I don't even think they've been that great at home. They've been terrible away from home. But even at home, you know what I mean, they've been dropping points. So,
Right.
it's
They're going to
it's
be
an interesting
expected to
one.
play on the front foot, and Brentford are a very good counterattacking
Exactly.
team. So
Exactly. I still think Brentford win this. To be honest, at maybe a draw, but I could actually see Brentford winning like 2-1 probably.
yeah, I see that too.
I think they're
Yeah, I'm
kind
gonna
of.
guess that Brentford are gonna win it. I think it will be 2-1.
I think because of the recent defeats, like 3-1 at City, Carabao Cup, and then the 4-1 against Liverpool, who haven't
Mhm.
even been that great this season. Like I can't remember the last time Liverpool scored 4 goals on
Right.
anyone. So I think they're kind of yeah in a rough place right now, Newcastle. So I could
Yeah.
definitely see Brentford taking advantage of that.
Right. So that wraps up the Saturday games. Now moving on to the Sunday games, which you know it's the big one is on
Ooh
Sunday.
wee.
Played Saturday, but Let's talk about Brighton and hosting Crystal Palace. Let's see their table position. So Palace is at 15th and Brighton at 13th. Another mid-table battle.
Right.
I don't think too consequential for either team. So I think
I
there's a
think
bit of
Crystal Palace
parity.
probably are a little more stressed out about being dragged because they've
Right.
completely fallen apart.
Yeah,
It's almost like giving
they
up.
have. They've gotten picked apart. They already know that, as long as they don't get relegated, then that's fine. So
Right.
they'll probably try to play it safe.
Yeah.
Um, Try
Exactly.
not to drop points. I think that's more important to them than actually winning.
Right.
And you know, Brighton are not too far off of them either. There's only a 2 point difference between these two
Right.
guys. So yeah, I think Brighton will also kind of do the same. I see like a
I
draw here,
I think Brighton.
1-1.
It's going to be attack versus defense. Brighton are always going to play the way they play and attack and go
Mhm.
for it.
Yeah,
And Crystal Palace are probably going to sit deep, so it's going to be like a attack versus defense drill. Brighton. The only thing is Brighton don't really have a cutting edge in their attack, so they attack kind
right.
of they leave themselves open a lot.
Yeah, so I see
Uh,
like maybe a 1-1 or a 1-0,
yeah, same.
and
Probably
I can't
I'm
tell
looking
which
at
team
1-1
will get
probably.
it.
I say a 1-1
Yeah,
draw.
1-1 draw. Yep. So that's that game, and then the main event of the weekend.
Mm,
All right,
this
so
is big.
we've got Liverpool hosting Manchester City,
At
of
Arnfield.
course, at Anfield,
Now get it right. It's
uh,
Arnfield.
Arnfield. Oh, okay. The
That's
Battle
his
of the
big
Bald.
You see what he just did to Newcastle there? That's his field. Yeah, it's a good one. It's an
Yeah,
interesting one.
the Battle of the Bald. We got Arne Slot and Pep Guardiola. Of course, we've got Man City in second place in the league, trying
Yeah.
to keep pace with Arsenal,
Right.
6 points off the top. So
Mhm.
to me, this is a must win for City.
Absolutely must
If they
win.
want to stay in the race and actually put pressure on Arsenal, you have to win this one.
Absolutely, because Arsenal probably going to win theirs. I don't see a world where they drop points.
Yeah,
So, and you guys played before them, so that takes pressure off of you
right,
guys and it puts more pressure on them.
right.
So we're
Big
looking
pressure,
at, and they're at Anfield.
and they're at Anfield.
To me, this is probably one of the most important games of the season. This is
Yeah,
what's going to either give them belief to push on if they do well, or if they fail, I think they're kind of resigned to the fact that the season's over. I think this is probably this is the most important game for City of the season
hmm
right here.
right. Yeah, this is season defining for sure.
Right.
And Liverpool, of course, they have to win this one too. If they want to, they're in sixth. They're
And
trying to push for Champions League.
right, it's big for
They
them
need to win
too.
this one.
Exactly. And I mean, they've had a good. Their last game was good. I think the game before that they lost at the end to Bournemouth, so they were kind of down in the dumps. But a 4-1 against Newcastle, that's probably going to give them a little bit of confidence going into this.
Right.
So
All of the other teams are going to have, all of the other Big Six teams will have played by the time this match happens on
right,
Saturday,
right,
right?
right, right,
So these two teams are going to know what is like the scenario that's going to play out as far
right,
as points if they were to lose or win.
right,
So they're going to see like, hey, this is even if the teams that are that they're competing with lose, there's still that pressure to win the game because you have to take advantage if your competition falters, right? And if
right,
they don't, if the if your competition wins, you got to keep pace. That's even more pressure. You have to
right,
win. So both teams are under pressure to win.
right, right,
This can be a
right,
good
right,
one.
right. What are you thinking for this game? What do you think the outcome? Because if we think back to the other City game, they absolutely destroyed Liverpool at the Etihad. Now it
Right.
wasn't even close. It was just almost like training
Yeah.
drill.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was bad. I forgot about that match. I forgot about that match.
It was an easy
But I
game.
think Arn Slot, he I'm thinking about when they played us and how Arn Slot set up kind of the same way twice to nullify us. And
Yeah, yeah,
we
he
and
showed a
City
lot of
play in a
respect.
similar fashion. Arsenal and City play in a similar fashion. So maybe he'll try to employ the same tactics
You
from
think so?
when they played us and just try to kind of like nullify us. But again, you still have to win. I mean, in that match, Liverpool were not really trying to score either.
Actually, I don't think you guys play in the same. I think you play more closer to like how City used to play. I think this season they've been a little bit more direct, and I
City have
think
been
it,
different. You're right. Yeah, they have been
yeah,
more.
they're a little more direct. They're not as possession focused anymore. They risk a lot, and that's the issue here. I think I do think Liverpool will show a bit of respect to City, right? Um, and I think they'll probably go for it towards the end of the game. I think Liverpool will play it like how they played against y'all. I think they'll probably show a little respect early on, and then kind of see where they're at by the second half. I think City are absolutely going to go for it from the jump. I think they're going
Right,
to try to blow them away
because they
again.
have to.
Yeah,
They have to. Yeah. I think they might just try to do what they did earlier in the season.
exactly. I think they're just going to try to blow them out the water early, just to kind of kill off any kind of chance of Liverpool um, coming and getting a late winner or drawing it late. You're going to really try to put the game away. Uh,
What do you think is going to be the score in that one?
I think it'll be a 2-2. I think it'll be 2-2. I think it'll be a draw.
A draw.
Yeah, I think it'll dampen both. Oh, I think Liverpool will probably be a little bit better off with a draw here. I think City will probably get knocked out of the title. I don't think they've recovered from the last few games, from that United fixture, from that Spurs fixture. Maybe the Carabao Cup game gives them a little bit, a tiny bit of confidence, but I just don't see them fully recovering in order to beat a Liverpool side who are kinda gonna be fighting pretty hard to get into the top 4. So I
Right.
yeah, so I see a draw here.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think it will be a tight game because of the stakes. Both teams, I think, are going to show respect to one another. While at the same time, yeah, like you said, Liverpool or Man City are going to play like they did in the previous fixture, where
Right,
they try to score goals early.
right.
Um, but I think the home field advantage. I don't want to like overhype this idea of Anfield, but just the home field advantage, right, for Liverpool. I think we'll get them over the line. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a tight like 2-1, and I'll say Liverpool. That's my
The
prediction there.
the only reason I don't think that would happen is just because I think Liverpool have such a terrible defense this season, and City can score goals. But, I mean, and the Anfield thing, yeah, honestly, this season, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in Anfield at
I
all.
don't either. I don't believe in it either.
I don't I
It's
have
a
no
myth, the Anfield myth.
it's a myth it's a myth. Now in the past, yes, Anfield was like an impossible place to go, especially under Klopp, but now it's almost like if you show enough, you can get a win there. Yeah, I mean, possibly, but yeah. Yeah, it could go either way for me, but I don't know if Liverpool have it in them to just concede only 1 goal. That's the only
Right.
reason why I say 2-2.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. If they were to concede, it's not going to just be one goal. Right. I don't think they're going to be as resolute defending. Now you
Right.
got me thinking about it.
I think
Because I'm
yeah,
looking at their defenders, like who do they have? You know, they got Kanate and Van Dyke, Kirkez, like who's really flimsy. You know, he's up and
right,
down.
right, right,
Um,
right.
and
And then
then you know
City
they had
do have
Gomez who's injured now.
right. City do have a lot of good attack. I think their attack is probably the least of the issues for City. I think, they've had the defensive problems and even the midfield problems. I don't think that attack has been horrible for them. So, but
Yeah,
it should be a good game though. I'm definitely tuning in to
no,
that
for
one.
sure. Definitely got to be plugged in because of all the drama. You know,
Mhm.
the fact that it happens at the end of the weekend, right? It's the last game. The stakes for both teams, and everybody will have already played.
Right. See,
So,
I'm kind of conflicted on this. Like, I want an interesting title race for the end of the season, but also, man, I just want to get Liverpool out the way. I want them to lose some games so we can build that
yeah,
gap.
for Man United, you guys want them to drop points
Of course,
so
yeah,
that you guys can solidify your top four
right.
position.
Yeah, because I don't think Chelsea are going to drop points, and I think as long as we stay in that top 5, I think because of all the English teams in the Champions League and how well they're doing, I think that's going to be the Champions League spots, top
Yeah,
5. So I want to make sure we got as much of a cushion to guarantee us that top 5 as possible.
right. Yep, I think that pretty much sums it up. We'll be back for the live streams for this weekend's games. I'm going to be streaming like most of these games, and
Really?
yeah, I'm gonna do the Man United and Spurs. Then of course the Arsenal game after that. I was gonna skip the games like the rest of the Saturday games, and then we'll do
Yeah.
the Liverpool game.
Yeah. All
Um,
right. Okay.
so it's gonna be good, and then we'll probably do a nice summary of this weekend, which should be a dramatic one. You know,
Yeah. Something's gonna
um,
happen. Something's gonna happen this week. I don't know what.
yeah,
I don't know who's getting laughed at, but somebody's getting
nah,
laughed.
somebody's gonna get laughed at. You know what I heard,
I'm gonna be like,
but I
laugh.
wanted to actually verify, but I don't. It's like a rumor, but I don't know. They were saying that Caicedo has been suspended again. Um,
For
can
what?
that get what? Like, if you accumulate cards
Oh
in
yeah, yeah. You can.
cup
Yeah.
matches, you can get suspended in the league, right?
I
Because
think
those are
so.
they're all
I
like
think
FA. They're all
yeah. All the English FA
under the
games.
jurisdiction of the FA.
I think possibly, but they're playing Wolves, man. I don't think it's gonna be an issue. That's the only thing. Is it gonna be? It's probably a 1 game suspension, right, for yellow cards.
Yeah, because I think it was yellow cards. Um, yeah, he's suspended.
He's
Wait,
like he's
wait,
just
hold on,
lucky.
hold on.
He's lucky it's Wolves and not a stronger team.
Yeah, so he because it was suspended for because they're talking about the Carabao Cup.
I mean, they're out the Carabao Cup, so it wouldn't even
Yeah,
matter.
they're out of the Carabao Cup. So this is like previous. He might not be suspended. Maybe that's
Oh.
just my wishful thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, that does it. Uh, yeah, all for checking in. Like, share, subscribe. We
Yeah,
will be
like
back
the
more
videos.
consistent. What's that?
100%. I say, yeah, make sure you like the video,
Yeah, man.
helps me
Share
out a
it,
lot.
dude.
Like, shit,
Help a
subscribe.
boy out, man. We're some
Give me
Americans
some
trying to,
love.
trying to inject this football culture.
Yeah, man, we
You know what
trying
I
to
mean?
grow
In
the
our
community.
culture, yeah, in our bland ass sports universe over here.
Right, right,
You
right.
know, we got these basketball players doing podcasts, and they're boring as hell. Let me talk about how boring these athletes that do podcasts are. They're so boring, man. I'm like, oh man, this might be fascinating. Let me listen to this guy. But
Right,
then
right,
the issue with these guys is they start talking like industry talk. You know how people
right, right,
when they work in a particular industry, they've got their own jargon. They've got like certain things that they find to be interesting, right?
right,
And they talk to one another, and it's like you're not really talking to the fans like that. That's why it's like more interesting to hear people from outside talk about sports.
right, right, right. Yeah.
Like
Nah, I feel that.
hear like Gilly and Wallow talk about sports, or uh,
Yeah.
Cam and Mace talk about different sports.
Right. Facts. Facts.
Yeah, but all right, y'all, appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. See y'all soon.